We've all been there before. You get a text or a phone call from a friend where they say, I'm on my way over, or hey, is it cool if I stop by in 15 minutes? And you take a look around your house and realize it is a disaster and you have no idea what to do. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I do to prepare for last minute house guests. Okay, so we all have a different level of stress and anxiety around getting one of those texts and phone calls. You might be the type of person that doesn't care. It might also depend on the type of person that says, hey, I'm stopping by. Whether you feel the need to tidy up quickly or just let them see your home in the state that it is. I personally, for pretty much everybody, want to try and make my home as clean as possible before somebody stops over for a visit. And I put these things into two separate categories. First, there's the category of what can I do in general to prevent myself from getting into one of these situations where somebody says they're coming over and everything's a mess, versus what can I do if somebody says they're coming over and I maybe have 15 or 30 minutes to prepare before they show up. So those last minute things versus a few long-term solutions. So let's talk about the long-term solutions first and then the real nitty-gritty practical things you can do very quickly. I'm gonna break down some of the top things that you should do and can do very quickly. In terms of what I do to prevent myself from being in one of these situations is having a cleaning routine. And you probably saw that one coming, is you're gonna have to maintain your home in some way to prevent this from happening. That means both cleaning and probably tidying up and organizing and all of that stuff. And this cleaning routine doesn't need to be the most extensive thing possible, but just kind of finding a basic schedule where you're rotating through either tasks, like I'm gonna do all of the bathrooms on Monday, or certain floors of your home or rooms or spaces of your home, and having that general layout and schedule will help a lot. For this purpose, it's okay if you miss a day. You can always get to it the next time. We're not expecting house guests every single day. So it's okay if your cleaning routine isn't perfect, but at least having somewhat of a cleaning routine is gonna get you ahead than if you don't. Now, touching on that organizing routine or some sort of solution for keeping things tidy in your home, I am obviously organizing obsessed, but I will say one of the best ways to prevent a giant disaster when people come over and to help with that quick tidy is to have organizational solutions that are easy to maintain and easy to use. So let's say I'm in my living room, which I am right now, and there are toys absolutely everywhere because I have 2 young kids. If I have all these little tiny boxes that I'm trying to put everything away in and close them up and zip them up and then file fold them, and so, like, if there's too many steps to get things put away, it's going to be difficult to do on a daily basis. So you're probably not going to be incentivized to do it because you know how long it takes. And when guests are potentially coming over very quickly, it's going to take way too long for you to put those things away, as opposed to having a large bin where you can just dump in a certain category of item. So even coming from somebody who's extremely organized, I'm telling you, do not over organize. The other thing you can do is to have a system for things that are coming into your home. That's a huge way that you're going to have clutter coming in on a daily basis that you want to try to combat, whether it's papers coming home through the mail or with your kids' school, or even when you come home from the store or the grocery store, even making sure you're putting everything away properly in the pantry when you come home, or all of that should help keep you at a baseline. Remember, you don't want to be bringing in more things and compiling on top of the issue that you might already have. The other thing I'll say is you need to have morning non-negotiables and you need to have evening non-negotiables. So morning, I have things like I make sure that I put away my pajamas for the day. I don't leave them in a pile on the floor. I make our bed every single morning. I put away my coffee cup once I'm finished with it. I put my toothbrush back in its drawer. I close the drawer and put all of my makeup products away every single morning when I'm done. On the evening side, I always make sure my kitchen is clean, my living room is picked up before I go upstairs and go to bed. Those are a must do for me. And those are some of the spaces that you can see right when you walk into our house. So for us, that works out really well in terms of maintaining our home in case we have unexpected house guests. The kitchen is a huge zone that you're gonna wanna make sure you clean up, as well as the living room. So let's transition into what you can do when you get that phone call or when you get that text. So number one, I'm gonna say get those dishes put away. If you have dishes in the dishwasher, get them put away immediately. Tackle all visible surfaces, so your kitchen countertop. Visible surfaces can also mean, like we were talking about, my living room. If I have toys everywhere, I'm gonna quickly clean up the floors and the couch of all of that visible clutter. I'm going to quickly put those things away. You're also going to want to focus on bathrooms, specifically the guest bathroom. Hopefully there's one bathroom that's kind of more of a central location that you can anticipate is where your guests are going to be using the restroom if they need to while they're over at your house. Just give the toilet a quick clean, wipe off the sink, make sure there's a fresh towel for them to wipe their hands, there's soap. All of those basic things will make a world of a difference. And in most instances, guests aren't going to be roaming your entire home and demanding a tour. Maybe if it's the first time they've come to your house, you recently bought a home or have a new apartment or something like that, they might want to see around. Hopefully they give you a little bit more notice if it's the first time they're coming over and they want a tour. Otherwise, it's okay to close off doors or to kind of sequester your guests into a certain area of your home that you've picked up, like your main living area, if that's what you've picked up and it's kind of a natural place for you to hang out with them, depending on who the guests are and what activities you're doing. So close those doors, section off spaces, and have just like a no-go zone if you're not able to get to that place. I would also quickly recommend taking out the trash. That's something that might smell up your area, and you definitely don't want to have any unpleasant scents when guests come over. So if you do have a little bit of extra time, you could light a candle, you could turn on a diffuser to help make your space smell very fresh and clean. Of course, being conscious of who might be coming over. A lot of people are really sensitive to fragrances. So if you know that person and know that they are not sensitive to fragrances or they'd be comfortable with that, then you can go ahead and light a candle or turn on a diffuser. And like I said, we're in the category of if you have extra time, which I know is kind of rare if you have a last minute house guest, but you still want to be a great host or hostess, so you can quickly set out a bowl of maybe mixed nuts. You could get some water and quickly cut up a cucumber or some lemon and toss it in there. Those very little things are going to take it to the next level and make it seem like you are always on top of it. Maybe if the weather is nice outside, you could go outside and quickly cut some fresh flowers. If you want to anticipate the situation and be really prepared in advance, you could make some homemade cookie dough and stick it in the freezer. It actually thaws out quite quickly, and you could pop in a batch of cookies into the oven when they say they're coming over, and as they're arriving to your home, you'll probably have some fresh baked cookies ready for them, which would make it seem like you are the most on it person ever. But on the other hand, you also have to realize it's not going to be perfect, and the person that's coming over does not expect it to be perfect. I'm sure if the shoe were on the other foot and they had somebody coming over to their house with 15 minutes notice, they probably wouldn't have a perfectly clean space anyway. So hopefully these tips will help you maintain your home so you can be ready for unexpected house guests, which also makes your home a lot more enjoyable for you to live in and make it seem like you are basically Martha Stewart. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, got a few tips, tricks, and ideas. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, I will see you all later.